Adam Christ from MyMMANews.com, being joined by Alesha Half-Pint Zappitella. She is taking on Emily Decote for the Invicta strawweight strap. It's going down in just a couple days at Invicta 47. I can't wait, and I know she can't wait. Before we get into it, I got to thank my guest for joining me. Alesha, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
I am doing wonderful. Thank you for asking. So, my first question for you is, as we just got done texting a little bit back and forth, you said that you are in the gym right now and you're going to be kind of in the remainder for the gym for the remainder. Is that like a normal part of your training routine that you like to stick around, isolate yourself?
So during my training camps, I do a lot of isolating myself. Usually before I go into training camp, I will do some sort of a vision quest.
Hmm.
And it has happened in other training camps where I stay by myself and I just isolate myself from everybody. So I guess that being at the gym, like kind of a new thing, but like also just the concept of me getting time to just be me and focus on only the fight is not really a new thing.
So, can you tell me about that isolation process? Some people they like to focus on everything else except the fight. You're going the opposite route. You like to isolate, be by yourself, zone in on the fight, home in on the fight. Can you tell me about that process and why you take that approach?
Well, I know that basically like 90% of the fight is all mental.
Mm.
So I need to make sure that going into fight week, my mindset is exactly where it needs to be. And the best way for me to do that is to just be alone, be myself, have time to journal, have time to meditate, have time to read, really do anything that's going to center myself.
That makes sense to me. So, as I was doing my homework before you and I got a chance to talk, I was listening to previous interviews. I was learning some new things about my girl Half Pint, and some of the things I found out, we share some common grounds. I just want to touch on. You are a pro wrestling fan, as I understand, and even work in the pro wrestling scene a bit, right?
I've done a little bit of work with Impact, yes. I'm trying to figure out what would be a good gym for me. I'm in the middle of trying to figure out where I'm going to move to, so that's going to have a huge play in, what gym I'm going to be at and stuff. But
Mhm.
yeah, I love pro wrestling. I watched it growing up, and actually one of my friends growing up had a pro wrestling ring in his basement. So like, yeah, like he even had like the walkout and everything. We would play it up. It was so much fun.
That's so funny because, all right, I had a buddy who had, I guess you could say a ring too, but I mean, did you use it for just the pro wrestling stuff? Because I mean, obviously being a fighter, you've gotten to train in the ring, so you kind of have the best of both worlds. Did you treat it as such as a child, or was it just pro wrestling when you guys were in the ring then?
I was already wrestling then, so like we would mix like the pro wrestling with
Mm-hmm.
like real wrestling stuff.
Right,
So both, but it was mainly like time to just play up the pro wrestling roles.
of course. So your favorite superstars, I got to know,
I absolutely love Stone Cold Steve Austin.
of course. So what did you think about his return at WrestleMania?
I actually didn't get to see it. I don't have cable.
Right.
I don't really watch TV that much, actually.
Understandable. So, all right, this will be the last I touch on pro wrestling. It's just, it's not often I get to chat with a pro MMA fighter about the pro wrestling business. So, I find it interesting. If you had to make your niche, your character right now, what would Half Pint be inside of that squared circle?
So I am such a nice person and I always try to be so wholesome that I would love to be the heel. Like everything in me, I would love to just become a bitch and like play that up. I think it'd be so much fun.
Would that be a difficult transition for you?
I don't know. It might be a little difficult, but like I think I could do it.
Especially when people are coming up to you and then they're actually like thinking that you're that personification and like, oh, I can't stand you. You're like, I'm really a nice person, I swear to you, but you can't break the kayfabe and everything. It's such an interesting world. So we're gonna bring it back to the fight now. So what is it about Emily, obviously, that you think that you can dethrone her? Obviously, you're stepping up in weight for this fight, so I want to talk about that and other things, but you're taking on Emily. You're not coming in this fight to lose. What do you think about her that you can dethrone her?
I've fought girls who are similar to her. I don't think that she brings anything to the table that I haven't seen before. And I want to be Invicta's first ever two-weight champion. I've never backed down from a fight. I don't care who it is, how tough they are. I'm going to get in the cage and I'm going to make sure that they know that I'm there. And I know what I have to bring to the table. So I've been really working to fill every single gap that I have in my game since my last fight. So I really just think that maybe on paper she looks a little bit better than I do, but I know what I have to bring to the table.
Obviously, I don't want you to give away those, any key parts of your training, but can you talk a little bit about some of those gaps that you noticed that you needed to fill in that obviously are a thing of the past at this juncture?
So if you go back to my first fights in MMA, I was so just I would go forward and I would put it on the girls and I would literally just make them fight my fight. And somewhere along the line, I don't know if it was the coaching, it honestly was probably that I was really just focused on learning every martial art as an art and I didn't really know how to transfer it over into what should be my style. So somewhere I lost that and I had to really get back to my original roots, but like, sharpen it up some, put a lot better technique in there.
But you spent the majority of your career, and I'm not saying but, you spent the majority of your career at 105. When did you decide to make the jump up to strawweight at this juncture of your career?
I've been wanting to make the jump up for about 3 fights now, since before I won the atom weight title with Invicta. I did a body scan and like weight cuts were getting a lot harder on me. And I did a body scan and it said that I had over 90 pounds of muscle. I think it was close to 95. So at that point, that's really not safe for me to be going to 105 at all.
Hmm.
And, I want a future past fighting. So I want to preserve, the health that I do have.
Of course. Can you talk about some of the healthy routes that you took to gain that healthy weight to get to strawweight?
I used to cut a lot of weight to get to 105.
Mm.
Sometimes I would be walking a little bit above 130. Like I shouldn't be cutting all the way down to 105. And I add muscle on like nobody's business. I just have the body type that loves to just put on muscle and I'm a very fast person. So making the adjustments wasn't that hard. And I also in training, like I always feel better when I'm heavier. I know how to use my weight. I know how to use my strength. Once all of that's gone, like it really does change my game a lot.
Hmm. Do you think that you have an advantage, almost, I would say, a personal advantage, a better Alesha, let's say, than the last time out? Because you said you struggled with making the 105. Do you think it's going to be a lot easier, a lot more beneficial for your fighting, for your performance, making the weight this time, especially because you don't have to hard cut?
Yeah, I truly think that this is going to be a very good move for me. I know that everybody brings up how small I am, how short I am, but I've always been this short and I've always trained with girls who are a lot taller than me, who are a lot bigger than me. And when I'm heavier, I just understand how to use my weight better. So like I really think that this is going to do a lot of good for me.
So, if I had to ask you to give a bold prediction, we're fastly approaching fight night. How do you dethrone Emily Decote and become the new Invicta strawweight champion? A bold prediction out of you.
I am going to TKO her on the ground.
Oh, can you give me a round?
I don't know the round, maybe round 3.
Awesome. So before I let you go, and obviously we have other things to discuss after this part, but obviously the news is fresh, obviously different promotion, but Charles Oliveira missing weight in his championship bout. I wanted to get your fresh take on missing weight in a title bout.
Missing weight in a title bout is something that is unacceptable. Missing weight at all is unacceptable. No matter how hard that cut is, you signed up for it. You have at very least 6 weeks to plan your life out to make sure that you are hitting that number that you have to hit on that night. It's really a shame.
Yeah, no excuses, huh?
No, no, no excuses.
All right. Well, final thing I have for you in this portion of the interview, any sponsors, any shout outs, coaches, teammates, floor is yours.
Okay, I have so many sponsors, so I'm sure I'm gonna miss a couple. But Major Sailor Inu, want to give a huge thank you to them. And then Wholesome Supplements and CBD, huge thank you to them. They're the best CBD in the world. And I'm not just saying that because they pay me. I actually really didn't believe in CBD that much before I tried their product, and it's amazing. And then I want to thank Phoenix Athletics and Mary Vance with her nutrition. And then Evergreen Lake Park in Conneaut, Ohio. It's absolutely beautiful. If you haven't been there, you should definitely go. I know I have a lot more sponsors, but those are the major ones that have been with me for so many years. And then for my training partners and my coaches, I want to give a thank you to Christian Woodmansey, and then Josh Thomas, and also John Beneducci. I might have mispronounced his last name. And then also, I think that's about it. I spent a lot of this training camp really traveling and working with fighters that are a lot bigger than me and that were able to expose holes in my game. And also Josh Parisian. So all these coaches have really helped me round out the things that I really need to work on.
Well, we are getting just days away from fight night. I can't wait to watch this fight. In the main event, Alesha Zappitella taking on Emily Decote. Best of luck.
Thank you.